If this actually cooks. Wait, what?
What?
Heyo, Kevin here, and the Pixel 9 Pro is out already? The Pixel 9 series has been my most anticipated launch of this year. Being a massive fan of Pixel's generally superior image quality and clean software, I was pretty excited for my Pixel 9 Pro XL to arrive. Generally, my experience with the 8 Pro of yesteryear was pretty positive. This phone was pretty okay. The only thing that I had a problem with it was it didn't really feel that flagship, especially compared to its competitors during its time, ignoring the S24 Ultra, which obviously was the S23 Ultra, but the 15 Pro Max and S23 Ultra simply felt more premium. But man, this year, the Pixel 9 Pro XL feels extremely premium, whether that's software or hardware. If you mistook the 9 series for an iPhone from its side profile, I wouldn't blame you. The telltale signs that this isn't one is literally the reverse volume keys. I still don't know why Google puts the volume button below the power button, but it only takes a couple seconds to get used to. Like it takes a couple seconds for you to like and subscribe. This video isn't monetized, which means we're not making any money. But if you could help us reach 1,000 subscribers, it would be huge to make it financially viable. But you know what else is huge? It is camera bump. Yes, it may be large, yes, it may collect dust, and yes, it may be a little sus. But in my opinion, this is probably the best implementation of a camera bump. No, camera mounted. Yes, it can double down as a ramp for your Hot Wheels car, but at least it's stable, unlike the S24 Ultra and the 15 Pro Max, which both, well, just look. Oh, and this year Google is finally doing it right, with the Pro model coming in 2 different sizes, the Pro and the Pro XL. Which for you Samsung folks who missed the S10 and Note 10 days of having the feature parity between the 2 sizes, at least you got it here with Pixel. But I know what you're saying. But Kevin, the iPhone Pro come in 2 models as well? What are you talking about? Yes, I know Apple offers 2 models for their Pro iPhones, but those 2 don't even have the same camera hardware. But like Apple, the Pixel this year has even bezels, which is a small minor detail but goes a real long way of making this phone feel more premium. Overall, kudos to Google for keeping the same design language while not recycling the same thing year over year. I do really like the 9 series design, but I seriously cannot unsee that camera design among us. But hey, at least Google didn't jump on the titanium bandwagon and instead went for a nice glossy aluminum finish. Call me crazy, but I do prefer my flagships having glossy frames over matte ones, because in my opinion, it just looks more premium and generally better. Just like this 3000 nit display. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep up with Samsung's anti-reflective glass. But who am I kidding? I've already ruined it by putting a screen protector on it, as you can see. And speaking of screen protectors, the 2.5D glass has been finally abolished. Gone are the days of screen protectors with black borders eating into your screen, and in are the days of better screen protector coverage.
Now, for the most anticipated part, how do the cameras compare to the competition? This year's 9 Pro comes with a 48 megapixel telephoto, a 50 megapixel wide, and a 48 megapixel ultra wide on the rear. Oh, and this piece of paper? Yeah, it has nothing on it. I was holding it for no reason. Yes, that does sound eerily similar to the 8 Pro, but rest assured there has been some minor and major upgrades, like the 42 megapixel selfie camera which has autofocus, and the ultra wide which has a faster aperture of f1.7 over 2.0. With the Pixel 8 Pro generally winning the point and shoot last year, will the 9 Pro be able to keep the crown? Let's find out.
Starting off with the ultra wide, we can see that the faster aperture on the Pixel reigns supreme here, with more details in the shadow. Moving on, the Pixel here demonstrates its superior ultra wide once again, and the iPhone has crushed all the shadows, and the Samsung looks a little bit AI generated and overexposed. Now moving on to macro shots, the Pixel puts out much sharper images, though the iPhone can still focus a little closer if you're into that. Samsung cannot. What about switching through all the lenses? Well, here we can see that the color science remains relatively similar across all cameras. However, the iPhone is a little bit more saturated, interestingly, in the sky. But if we zoom in further, the Samsung becomes more saturated, and then the Samsung gets a bit blurry, surprisingly. So much for the space zoom the Samsung has. Out of all these three, I do believe the Pixel is the better image, with the Samsung being oddly blurry. How about the lens transitions? Well, obviously the iPhone has the smoothest, no surprise there, followed by the Samsung, and then the Pixel, which seriously needs some improvement. Staying at that maximum zoom, the iPhone is very messy and muddy, the Samsung looks once again AI generated and has a blue haze, while the Pixel maintains the best image out of the three. And let's quickly test a little bit of portrait mode on this bike. We can see that the Pixel is very cropped in because unfortunately you can't take 1x portraits or even 5x portraits. Well, the solution is very simple. Just use the auto frame feature on the Pixel and bang! Now you have a wide shot. Granted, it is AI generated, so don't Pixel peep. Talking about AI, you can now use the Add Me feature, which we tested and we got some questionable results out of. I'm sure it's going to get a lot better, but from our testing, it wasn't that reliable, and honestly, I would just use a tripod. Now for some quick indoor shots, I think it is just a matter of personal preference here. The iPhone is a little cooler in this photo, but the whole thing reverses and flips on its head in the next photo, with the iPhone being the warmest, followed by the Samsung, and the coolest being the Pixel. Okay, now we're doing 4K 30 tests on all rear main cameras. Let me know what you guys think of the HDR. How does it handle the bright, blistering sunlight? And how does it handle the stabilization? I'm going to jog just a little bit, not too much because I'm holding all three phones, and this is extremely dodgy. Which one has the best audio and which one has the best stabilization? Flipping around for the front-facing selfie photos, here we have some portrait mode action going on here. The Pixel has the widest shot, no thanks to its new 42 megapixel front-facing camera. Same story goes on for nighttime shots. The front-facing camera is still the widest on the Pixel, of course, but the color science here, I actually kind of prefer the iPhone. But enough of my noggin, let's have a look at actual photos. Here at this kebab store, we can see that the Pixel maintains the best exposure, while the iPhone blows out the sign and the Samsung looks weird with its HDR. This next photo of this delivery bike is oversharpened on both the iPhone and the Samsung. The Pixel renders the colors the most accurately, at least to my eyes, and doesn't have the oversharpening. Now quickly pushing through each of these photos, pause if you'd like to take a closer look. The Pixel generally keeps the sky the correct color, while the iPhone and Samsung adds weird grays and sometimes blue. And here even the iPhone doesn't even look like it's activated night mode, but I rest assure you it did activate. Now this is a little comparison between the selfie cameras of the iPhone 15 Pro Max, Pixel 9 Pro and the S24 Ultra. And if you're wondering how I'm doing this, don't ask. It's totally not dodgy. I'm totally not stacking the phones on top of each other. My hair is getting messed up, but let me know what you think. This is a little low light, bit of HDR, difficult lighting, little video for you guys. People are probably staring at me. What the hell is this guy doing? Why is he speaking to himself? And why is he holding three phones? Well, they will never know unless they watch the review. Now, like the daytime shots in general, the nighttime shots are well rendered out by the Pixel, with the iPhone and Samsung looking a tad bit more over-sharpened compared to the Pixel. However, it's interesting to note if we zoom in further at low light, the iPhone actually pulls ahead, and this is probably due to the larger pixels in its 12 megapixel sensor compared to the 50 and 48 of the Samsung and Pixel. But introduce a little bit more light into those sensors, and the Pixel starts to pull ahead once again with superior white balance here, because yes, this scene was cool, not warm.
Call me flabbergasted because man, the Pixel this year has absolutely smashed the competition. Not only has it better general color science, but the photos aren't over sharpened. Unfortunately, the Pixel still falls short when it comes to portrait mode, as there's still no way to take 5x portraits, but everything else is vastly superior. Yes, the lens transitions could be better, but with the photo quality already being so good, I think it's safe to say that the Pixel 9 Pro excels at photography. But you know what the Pixel hasn't been known to excel at? Gaming performance. If we compare the Tensor G4 in the 9 series to the yesteryear counterpart, the jump from 8 to 9 isn't actually that big. However, if you're still holding on to a 7 Pro or a 6 Pro even, it may be time to upgrade. Now let's take a look at the competition. On the same side of Android, the S24 Ultra pulls right ahead with a single core of 2,386 and a multi-core of 7,322. That's almost double the performance. On the other side, with the 15 Pro Max's A17 Pro, it scores a whopping 3,001 for single core and 7,794 for multi-core. Does this mean these phones are significantly faster? No, not really. The Pixel 9 Pro has never felt any slower than these other handsets, and unlike last year, even while it's hot, it still maintains its performance quite well, speeding through CapCut despite high temperatures. And honestly, I find that phone chips have already become too fast for the general consumer. If you're scoring around 1.5K for single and 3 to 4K for multi-core, you're already having a really good experience. And this is literally evidenced by the existence of the CMF Phone 1, which is almost as smooth and snappy as that S24 Ultra. But for gamers, how does the Tensor G4 stack up? Well, once again, compared to previous generations, the jump from 8 to 9 is quite minor, while the 7 to 9 is actually quite big. Now, for the competition. Well, it's the same story as the CPU, but for a real test, let's put these phones to max brightness and play some games.
We chose Genshin Impact over other games as it allows for co-op to keep the variables as close as possible. And the results? Well, starting with the iPhone, it maintains a close to 60 FPS experience throughout the entirety of the gameplay, only throttling down when the temperatures got higher, but generally it recovered and shot back up to 60. The S24 Ultra's performance was unexpectedly bad. It did start off strong at 60 FPS, but then it tapered down to 50, then 40, and then didn't really recover. What about the Pixel? Well, you see, Taku stats didn't work and Birthdog also didn't work, so we had to painstakingly record the Pixel's gameplay and count the frame rate for every second. Okay, no, we didn't really count it for every second, we took an average, and I don't think we even needed to be too precise to conclude that the gaming experience is what you could call a faithful anime cinematic experience. But one thing to note is both the S24 Ultra and 15 Pro Max dimmed their screens to the point where it was hard to see indoors, whereas the Pixel maintained its max brightness the whole way through. So if you are playing at 30 frames per second in hot weather, the Pixel 9 Pro XL might actually be the better choice, at least for this very niche 30 FPS hot temperature thermal throttling nightmare gameplay. Unfortunately, even though the Pixel does bench like yesteryear's Snapdragon flagships, which should be able to run Genshin at 60 frames per second, it is the optimization that holds it back. Google can only do so much by driving more sales and increasing the market share to make it more viable for developers to like HoloVerse to optimize for the Pixel. But gaming isn't the end all and be all of media consumption. What about the audio? Because man, Google this year has cooked with their speakers. Take a listen for yourself. S9 Pro XL is basically a perfect balance between the S24 Ultra's forward tuning and the iPhone's warm and bassy sound. Its low-end extension is admittedly not as good as the 15 Pro Max, but its emphasis on the upper bass is much more perceivable in my opinion. The treble extension is like the Samsung but without its shrilly nature, which means female vocals won't sound as harsh at higher volumes. Now, hardware aside, what about the AI features? For this, I decided that I would not show this guy any of the AI features. Yes, while he was using this phone, I banned him from using Gemini. He was stuck with Google Assistant. But now that we are about to experience it, we're gonna do it live. So let's go ahead and get into Gemini live. That was a bit of a bass boost. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
Gemini, hello. I have my friend here, and I want you to, I don't know, talk to him because he needs a friend.
So it sounds like you want to play the role of a friend. What kind of friend do you want to be funny and supportive? Someone to just listen?
No. I want you to play the role of a friend to my friend right now. Just tell him what you can do, your features, you know, your what kind of crazy artificial intelligence things you can do.
Okay, so you want me to pretend to be your friend and tell your friend about the things I can do?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, I can do that. Just so that I sound like a real friend. Could you tell me a little bit about them? What are they like?
Well, instead of me telling you, I'm going to get you to talk to him right now. So I'm going to stop talking and he's going to talk to you after you say something, I guess.
Okay, just checking. Since I can't see who I'm talking to, it helps to have a little bit of context. You can always just tell me to stop if you change your mind. Is he the kind of person who likes to laugh? Or does he prefer to keep things serious?
I love to laugh, Gemini. How about you?
Alright, a sense of humor, good to know. You mentioned before that he's feeling down, so maybe try starting with something light and upbeat. How about this? Hey, so how's your day going? Anything interesting happen?
Nothing specifically today. We're recording a video, but it's raining.
Alright, sounds like a good start. Maybe ask him about the video. What kind of video are you guys working on?
Gemini, I don't know if you've realized, but you are talking to him, not me.
Oops, you're right. I keep forgetting that. Since it's raining.
Now, obviously, once you're finished with your whole conversation, you get a little transcript of the entire thing. So if you were talking about something, I don't know, a little bit more important rather than something it's clearly not designed to do, for example, if you're looking for places to eat, restaurants to go to or something, you will get the whole transcript with all the names of the places so then you don't have to think about how to spell it. Now, obviously, Gemini Live is really impressive, as you've seen from other YouTube videos and our not very normal test. But what we do also have is Gemini Advanced, a more advanced version of the normal Gemini. And to test that, we have no idea how to do that. So what better way to do that but to ask Gemini Advanced itself. So how do I test Gemini Advanced in a YouTube video?
You could showcase Gemini Advanced capabilities in your YouTube video by comparing image generation. Compare images
So Gemini has suggested us to do image generation, coding tasks, research and analysis, creative storytelling, and real-world applications, which is summarizing lengthy documents or highlighting practical uses. So I guess we should just go through each of these and have a look at what it can do. Generate me an image of a big dinosaur with wings flying around a big city.
Oh my god. This is actually good. I'm gonna be buying a Pixel in a moment.
Sure.
Oh my
Here's
god,
an
okay.
image of a big dinosaur with wings flying around a big city.
Can you generate an image of a snail eating a dinosaur? How could a snail eat a dinosaur? It's like this big.
Maybe you'll make like a gigantic snail.
Well, we'll find out.
Or a small dinosaur.
Sure. Here is an
Oh
image
my
of a
God.
snail eating a dinosaur.
So it's like
okay. The dinosaur is kind of eating the snail in the first image.
Okay.
And now the snail's eating the skeleton
Yeah.
of a dinosaur. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's
there.
eating itself. I don't know.
And then
That's cooked. That's cooked.
now there's also another way to do these image generations through Pixel Studio, and here it's just basically the same as Gemini Advanced doing it for you, but in this case we're directly typing in what we want, and this is a lot faster. For example, if I decide I want Pikachu, I can click generate, and before you know it, it will generate an image of Pikachu right there. Now, I do have quite a few questions about this. Is how's it creating copyrighted material? I don't know. We'll leave that for Google's lawyers to deal with. But obviously, that is pretty basic. What we can do is, I don't know, think about something. I don't know, R2D2,
R2D2 flying upside down with Yoda riding his back. Oh my god, this is gonna be fire. That's not upside down, and that's not flying either.
Not flying. Maybe toothless.
Alright, that'll work.
If this actually cooks. Wait, what?
What? Hold up.
What is that?
What is sentence like that?
Okay, let's try this.
It almost cooked.
Almost. Okay, image generation aside, let's move on to not coding because I can't be bothered. Research and analysis. Who is MKBHD?
MKBHD, also known as Marquise Brownlee, is a popular American YouTuber known for his in-depth tech reviews. He has over 19 million subscribers on his main channel. He's been called the best technology reviewer on the planet by former Google VP Vik Gundotra. He reviews a wide variety of tech products, from smartphones to electric cars.
And what's more interesting is Gemini now, as you've probably seen on other YouTube videos, can also summarize YouTube videos for you. And as a quick example of this, we have the CMF Phone 1 review, and if you haven't watched that, go watch that. Not right now, after this video. And what we're gonna do is invoke Gemini, ask about this video, and go ahead and summarize this video for me.
In this video, Kevin reviews the CMF Phone 1 after using it for a month. Overall, he finds the phone to be a breath of fresh air in the world of tech, with a unique
That is
design
what I
and
said.
experience for a very affordable price. However, there are some compromises made at this price point. Here are some key points from the video. Design. The CMF Phone 1 has a unique and customizable design.
Okay, before it spoils the whole, this is pretty much the whole video right here. I'm just like glimpsing
Yeah,
through
like
it.
word for word.
It works really well. And I can see this being very useful for, I don't know, uni students if they need to catch up on a video that it's 2 hours long, or if you want to make notes before watching a video so you can get a better understanding or grasp of the concepts and check things off. Though there's one big asterisk I need to mention here. Even though these features I do find absolutely amazing and very innovative, especially Gemini Live, that thing is absolutely impressive. The thing is, these features are not Pixel 9 exclusives, which means Gemini Advanced and Live is just a subscription, meaning any phone can run this. The only thing I believe that is a Pixel exclusive is the Pixel Studio. It's literally called Pixel Studio. So maybe this will be the Pixel thing that only Pixels will get. But I wouldn't hold my candle to exclusive features, because like the S24 Ultra's Galaxy AI features like Circle to Search, that is now also a ability that the Pixel can perform. But as it stands, the Add Me In and Pixel Studio are great additions to the Pixel line. I personally wouldn't use Pixel Studio in my art workflow, for example, due to the ethical considerations of that, but what I do use on a daily basis is Pixel's transcribe feature, which is honestly so excellent that I don't even need to type most of the time anymore. Now, with all these features out of the way, the Pixel 9 Pro is, well, I think, an excellent phone. The real question though is, can it replace my S24 Ultra or iPhone 15 Pro Max? Although I do like One UI's versatility and multitasking and the ability to change the whole UI with good lock, allowing you to have the task changer be just like their tablets, I do feel like most of these multitasking things do not really belong on a phone, or at least isn't optimal on a phone. Don't get me wrong, I used to do everything on my phone when I had a Z Fold. From thumbnails, art to taking notes for chemistry and physics classes, anything I didn't require Windows for would be done on my phone. But now that I've replaced most of those devices with actual computers or actual tablets, I am finding myself less needing to use my phone for those kinds of tasks. In terms of Samsung, maybe the S24 Plus makes more sense for me. But if this was a comparison between the S24 Plus and Pixel 9 Pro XL, I would pick the Pixel over the Samsung. So obviously the Pixel 9 Pro is my choice in this regard, and it easily replaces my iPhone, as all the positives that the iPhone has exists on the Pixel while also being on my preferred operating system of Android. Which leads me to my conclusion. The Pixel 9 Pro XL can definitely replace my iPhone, but if I ever need to be productive on my phone or want the pro flexibility of Samsung's extra cameras, then the S24 Ultra would make more sense. With that being said, thank you so much for watching to the end, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.